I'm Dr. Brooke Choulet, and I'm here with Deonte Harty today. We're going to talk all things mental health as Mental Health Awareness Month in May is coming up. And I just want to hear a little bit about your journey. I know every player's journey into the league is different, and so kind of start from the beginning.
Mine is kind of, I would say normal for a guy of my stature. Wasn't really recruited coming out of high school. I had one offer really, which was the school that I ended up choosing. No school in the state of Maryland really wanted to take a chance on me. Only school I really had was Towson, and Towson was like only halfway in. And so I was just like, plus I knew me staying home, I would still be around all my friends, and I wouldn't be going to class, and it just wouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
So we just felt the best thing for me to do was, go out of state. Ended up going to Assumption College, which is now Assumption University. Met some great people out there. A couple of my friends that I grew up with were already there, so it kind of made it easier. Kind of made my adjustment easier. And then I did my 4 years there. And then the rest was really history.
So I know it must have taken a lot of perseverance and passion, right, to pursue a career in the league. Because like you said, the opportunities weren't coming to you. You had to kind of seek them out.
Right.
So how did you go from collegiate sports to playing in the NFL?
What do you mean? Like,
Yeah, did you get picked up by someone? Did you seek out recruiters? Did someone come to you?
I had my agent, Shane, great guy. He was actually one of like the first agents to reach out to me, and he's kind of like they're kind of like a small agency, and so I went to a small school, so it was kind of like the best fit. Just sitting down with him, and I had my best friend with me at the time, and we both just sat down with him, listened to him, and he basically believed in me, and I believed that he could get done what needed to get done, and so he was kind of that guy that was in every team's ear. Like, listen, I know he's undersized guy. I know he's small, but I promise you, if you get him, he's a difference maker, and he can help this team or help the team win. And so it was kind of him just, being in all the coaches' ears and all the team's ears, and he got us to the right place, which was New Orleans. We did a lot of good things there for 4 years. So it was just my agent, and then me just putting in the work to be in the right position.
Yeah, and it speaks to the team around you, right? Like, it's so important to have good people around you that are advocating for you.
Right.
Did you always know when you were in college that you wanted to play pro football?
I knew since I was little, like ever since I was young. I always saw myself as being like that first round draft pick. That was just always my dream. Like, there wasn't a plan B for me. Like, my plan A was get into the NFL, and that was like I felt as though nothing was going to stop me. And then as you get older, you start to realize what's realistic and what's not. And so it's like you see all these people going to these big schools, and their height, their size, and all of that. And it's like, all right, maybe not a first-round draft pick. Like maybe a different route. And I even thought going through my first couple years of college, I was just like, all right, maybe I could be like one of these guys that's undrafted, and then figure out how to go from there. And then my junior year came around, and we had our team was good that year, and that was like my best season that I ever had. And it kind of got and then scouts started reaching out and stuff like that, and it was like, all right, maybe I could be like a late round draft pick, you never know. But that was pretty much it.
And what I'm hearing from you, too, is like that grit, right? And when we talk about elite athlete mindset, there's that grit, which is really that passion plus perseverance.
Right.
So not only did you have the passion for football, but you also persevered, essentially. Like, you were like, I'm not taking no as an answer, and I'm going to figure out a way to get there.
Right. Nah, I mean, I feel like with anything you do in life, like, that's the type of mindset you have to have. Like I said, I knew that's what I always wanted to do when I was little, and I had a great support system behind me. I had my mother, my father, my two brothers. I really had a village, and my village was always there with me every step of the way. From Little League, high school, college, my family was driving 6-7 hours every Saturday to come watch me play in college. So
That's amazing.
And then even when I got to the league, my family was getting on flights to make sure they was at every home game. So it was really like my village was everything for me.
That's incredible. Yeah, and it just speaks to the power of family and community.
Yep.
And now talk a bit about the resilience that it takes to be a player in the National Football League in terms of ups and downs and what that looked like for you.
You just got to figure out the best way for you to kind of like stay in the middle. And I think what a lot of people have to understand is it's just like any other career. It's just like life in general. As you go through life, you have a lot of ups and downs. And like I said, you just got to find your best way to try to keep everything level. And so for me, like when I first got into the league, it was, all right, now I'm in a new place. I live by myself. I'm a professional athlete. So it's like, what can I do to be the best athlete I could be at work? And then I have to figure out a routine for me. Now that I'm out living by myself, I'm in the real world, what things I need to stay away from, all the negativity that I need to keep away from, and the things that keep me grounded. And so as I was going through my first year, I was just trying to figure out all of the right things to do, all the right people to hang around, the right crowd and the wrong crowd, how to balance football and outside of football. So that was like really the main thing for me going through the whole shift, or the whole process.
It's so tough too. And like you used a key word, which is routine.
Right.
And I always talk to people about no matter if you're at home or on the road, have a routine that you could keep consistent, right? Because you're not always at home. You might be in different hotel rooms. You might be traveling in uncomfortable places.
Right.
So what kind of routines for you really helped keep you grounded?
It was really trying to wake up at the same time, whether it was to go work out or do like my rehab, or even if it was just to go study film. I really just tried to keep my days the same throughout the weeks. And so, for example, Wednesdays, because Wednesdays was like our first work day. Wednesdays would be I'm getting to the facility at 7:30, 8 o'clock. We don't have a meet until 9, so I'm either going to work out or I'm going to do rehab, eat breakfast, go through the meetings. Throughout the meetings, whenever I have a break, I try to look over my plays, and then we go to practice. After practice, eat, work out, or whatever, try to get treatment. And so I just tried to keep every Wednesday the same, and then Thursdays I try to keep the same. Now, obviously, things come up and you have things to do, but I just tried to make sure that every day throughout every week was kind of matched up with, and just tried to keep everything the same.
It's so important. I saw a meme recently that was like, successful people have boring lives, right? Like everything's the same. They are disciplined, they keep routine, and it's so true.
Yeah.
At some point, did you feel like the pressures outweighed your passion to play football?
Yeah, for sure. I almost walked away a couple times. Even like this recent year, I almost walked away. But I remember one day I was just sitting in the parking lot, and it was early in the season too. But I was just sitting in the parking lot at work, and I was just like, I called my mom. I'm like, I don't want to be here. And she like, I think I woke her up out her sleep too. So she was just so confused, and I was just like, I don't want to be here. And I think for me, that was just like, I don't know. I was away from my child who was recently sick when she was born. Like she spent a good amount of time in the hospital. So it was like just me being away from her, and I just felt like I wasn't given the right opportunity. And so I was just going to work, like just going through the motion, you know? And so I just felt like I keep giving everything I have to this game, and it's like, it's not giving me the same thing back. And then I had another instant. Well, my first instant was 2021. I was just young and dumb, so I had got arrested for a DUI. And I was just, you start seeing all this stuff pop up on social media, people talking about you, people that don't even know you.
Right.
And they just belittling me, throwing dirt on my name and all of this. And so I'm going through that. And then probably like a couple weeks later, I leave and I go to camp. And my girlfriend at the time had a miscarriage.
Oh, my gosh.
And so, and then a week after that, my childhood best friend passed away.
Wow.
And so I'm sitting here going through all of that. I'm trying to deal. Oh, and we had a hurricane in New Orleans. So I had to pack up my house in New Orleans and we had to leave and go to Dallas. So now I'm in another place further away from my family while trying to go through all of that. And it was just like, is this even really where I want to be right now?
Yeah.
You know, so we get to the hotel room in Dallas, and I'm just on the balcony just thinking, like, I could really just leave right now and just go be with my family, get through everything I got to get through with my family, because that's like my safe place. Like, that's my safe haven. Whenever I'm surrounded by my family, I feel like everything just goes quiet, you know? And so I remember I booked the flight that day, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, if I just leave, I mean, everything that we worked for up until this moment is gone. It was for nothing. And so I got on the phone with my family, and I'm just talking to them and expressing to them how I feel, and, you know, they kind of like talked me off the ledge. And 2021 was actually the best season I had as far as receiver standpoint, because I always wanted to be a receiver, like a true receiver in the NFL. And so that was actually my best year.
Wow. What do you think made the difference? What did your family say to you on the phone that made you stay?
It was just positive reinforcement. Remembering everything that we did to get to this moment, remembering that life is going to happen no matter what. Anything you do, you can't just decide that you want to get up and quit because life is happening. It's not only happening to me. There's billions of people in this world that life is happening to. And so they were just giving me positive reinforcement, reminding me that I'm loved, that they care about me, and that they're there for me.
Yeah, and it's so amazing that you have that, too, because there are so many players in so many different sports, right, that don't have that family support, and they have to go find that chosen family.
Right.
And you bring up an important topic about social media, right? Because is there a right answer? Do you read the noise? Do you let it affect you? Do you just stay off of it now? Like, how has your social media usage changed over time?
I get on social media for really to interact with the fans and to watch funny videos.
Yeah, entertainment.
Yeah, I don't really check comments. I'm not as into social media as much as I was as a younger player, or just even as a younger person in general. I think as you grow up, you kind of move away from it. And I'm not like an influencer, so I don't have to be on social media like posting reels and stuff like that.
Right.
Like, I literally just get on it for entertainment. Like me and my mother send reels back and forth all the time. So it's just more for entertainment and pleasure. Like, I'm not really into reading all the comments and seeing what's going on around the world, to be honest.
And it sounds like a way to connect too, right? Like for you and your mom to have that, right? It's like modern day connection when you're not living in the same place.
They say if you don't have at least, so we have text messages that we send on a regular. We talk on a regular. We send TikToks on the regular, and we send Instagram reels on the regular. They say if you don't have multiple forms of communication going on at once, it's not a real relationship.
That's interesting. I like that. And now another tough part too that we've talked about before is injury, right? And so that's another tough part of playing, is that you could be all ready for the season. You could be lined up to have your best year, and then you get injured.
Right.
So talk to me about your injury history and how that kind of impacted your season and just you emotionally.
Yeah. I mean, I've been dealing with, I'm pretty sure a lot of athletes, you have some who go through a whole career and never have any type of major injury, anything like that. But
they're unicorns. That doesn't happen often.
Nah, it's part of the game, though. It's like one of those things that you prepare for. Like, obviously, nobody wants to be injured, but it's just one of those unfortunate situations that sometimes catch up to you. And, I don't know. It's kind of it's different for some people. Like, some people, like, I've been injured a few times. I got surgery back in 2021. I got surgery in 2020. Was it 21 or 2020? 2022. And then when I was younger as well. But it's just one of those things where it's like, now you have you have to find a new routine. The routine that you're used to during the season when you getting ready for games and practice and stuff. Now you got to make a shift. Now it's okay. now I just go into work so I could do my rehab and so I could get better, and then I go home. So you only at the facility for a few hours a day, whereas when you in season, is you at the facility all day.
Right.
You know, and so you kind of feel like a disconnect because you're not around everybody anymore. Like you're not sitting in those meetings anymore. You're not at the team meeting. You're not at the offensive meetings. You're not with the receiver. Like for me, I'm not with the receivers all day. So it's like you kind of feel like that disconnect. And it's like you try to figure out a way to still feel like you're part of the team. And nobody treats you like you're not a part of it. It's just...
Right, it's a mindset thing.
It's like, damn, I'm not at practice with them every day, or I'm not at war with them every day on Sundays, or whatever day you play, you know? So it's trying to get in the right headspace and trying to get into the right routine so that you could get yourself physically and mentally where you need to be. So that way, if it's not a season-ending injury, I think that was hard, then you could just jump right back in. You know?
And like you said, it's not an if but a when most of the time. Yeah. I know like in the NBA, what is it, Mikal Bridges has gone like over 450 games or something crazy like that without an injury. But that's not the majority, right? That's not common. What would you say to those athletes that are injured and that are experiencing that feeling of isolation for that first time? You know, because you're right. You're absolutely not with the team. You're not on their schedule. You're on your own rehab schedule. How would you advise them?
Just figure out a way to still try to be connected. Like I remember one time I was injured and I was like, man, I get to go home. Well, first I don't have to come in until, 9:30? Usually you had to be there around 7:30. So I'm like, I don't got to come in until 9:30 and I leave at 12. I'm like, oh, yeah. I get to go back home, go to sleep, you know. And it was cool for like the first couple days, but then once you start getting home and realizing that you ain't really got nobody to talk to because everybody at work, you can't really do nothing, you know. So it's like just try to find a way to stay connected, whether it's just still meeting with the players or meeting with the coaches, or I'm pretty sure like in some cases you can still go to meetings, you know. So if that's something that'll help you, you know, stay connected or stay engaged or feel like you're not isolated, then do that. Rehab multiple times. Like I don't know, just find your balance. You know, just try to find your balance, and so you don't feel so isolated.
Yeah, and finding ways to be involved, like you said. Like I remember on the road when we would travel and that we would FaceTime in the injured athletes who had to stay back home and rehab. Just small things like that make a difference where you don't feel like you're really disconnected. Yeah. And for you, like where did your interest in mental health advocacy come from? When did you really start seeing yourself as a mental health advocate?
Seeing myself as one, probably not till last year, but when I kind of knew it was important was like in 2021 when that whole situation happened. Just going through that, it kind of just made me feel as though like I'm not okay, and I was able to have conversations with my family and got to the point where it was like it's okay to not be okay, but at some point you got to talk about it. Like I think as men, just growing up as men, we're not taught to express how we feel and show emotions, and then now you in the NFL and it's like it's so competitive and everybody want to be macho. Everybody want to be so strong and tough, and it's like, yeah, you have to be that, but at the same time, it's okay to just let it go sometimes, you know. Like it's okay to have these type of conversations. So I feel as though last year was kind of like when I felt as though being an advocate for mental health was important, but I think the past couple of years I've always felt like it needed to be a thing.
Yeah, and then you finally just kind of felt comfortable coming out into the open last year and starting to really be vocal about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still a little shy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really like public speaking and all of that, but I feel as though it's bigger than me. Like it's conversations that need to be started and need to be had, and it needs to be consistent.
Yeah.
And I think because of the platform that I have and the reach that I have, I think it's even more important because now I have these young kids looking up to me, and now they see, okay, if he can have this conversation, then why can't I? You
Right.
know, like I said, we weren't never taught this. We weren't never shown that this was okay. So, you know, for me to be able to be that person to let the younger people know, and even the people that's in the league now, and that, like the younger guys in the league that feel as though like, nah, I can't, that make me feel weak or whatever. Like, nah, it's okay to, you know, have these conversations.
Yeah, and it's interesting earlier when you said, well, I'm not an influencer, right? And like, yeah, you're not an influencer in the traditional sense of dancing on
Right.
social media, but you do have influence.
Yeah.
And to me, being an influencer is someone that has that platform and that can reach a wide amount of people. And I think you're fortunate to be able to have that, you know,
Right.
and what was it, at the NFLPA conference a year ago in June in Chicago. There was someone speaking and he's like, I'm not afraid to put NFL on every single thing I do when I'm done because I gave my life to the game.
Right.
And now I want to be able to use my platform to be able to do good and advocate for different things. And so speaking of advocating, can you talk a little bit about Mind in Motion and how that came to be and what that is?
I can't take any credit for it. That was Mon Dukes and Vita, or La Vita, right? That's her name, La Vita. I call her Vita. But no, they just came up with the idea, and we just ran with it. To be honest, I don't know how they came up with it. I thought it was a good idea to be able to combine the two, the movement with, or the physical with also the mental, because I mean, at the end of the day, that's what sports is. So,
Right.
Or that's just what everyday life is. But no, I can't take any credit for it. They put it all together and ran it by me, and then we just made it happen.
Yeah. And so for the people listening that don't know what that is, can you explain a little bit about it?
Mind in Motion. It was just one of those things where we got kids together and we set up stations. One of the stations was like some agility things that we did, like you do on a football field. We had a yoga station. What else did we have? We had a station where, what were they doing? I think they were either reading something and taking notes on it or whatever. I forget exactly what it was, but no, it was just an event for us to have kids moving around physically, and then having them tap into the mental aspect as well with the yoga and the reading and writing. So it was just, like I said, it was just one of those ways for us to connect with the community, give back to them, and kind of express the importance of, yeah, your physical can take you and you could do X amount with it, but at the same time, you need the mental aspect as well.
Exactly. Because I think that's what sets apart the most elite players in each sport compared to the rest, right? Is at that point, you all have good skill,
Right.
but it's the players that have exceptional mindset and the ability to stay grounded, like you said, that really excel above the rest.
Right.
And now, like, talk about the importance to you of having those kids see you in your position, being a man of influence, talking about things like yoga and mindfulness and the mindset perspective on things.
Yeah, no, I think it's major. Like I said, me growing up, I never seen any of it. I never really knew or heard of athletes coming to Baltimore, professional athletes coming to Baltimore and doing certain things. Now, I'm not saying that they didn't do. It's just something that I never experienced. So for me to be able to, use my platform and do this I feel as though it's major for the youth. You don't really, like I said, you don't really see it a lot. So for them to actually see it and even be a part of it, it's like, wow, it's people out there that care, and there's people out there that's willing to help us and give back and all these things. So I feel as though for them, it's major.
Exactly. Yeah. And now switching gears to game day, right? Talk to us about your game day routine. How do you ensure that you're performing at your peak, both physically and mentally?
In the morning, I wake up, I pray, and then I eat and play the game. if we have a home game, I get up and I play the game. I feel like the game for me, it's just something that me and my best friend used to do all the time in college. And we would just always, and we wouldn't get off the game until we win.
Okay.
And so it was us getting into the mindset of already winning. And then after that, we just go. I mean, after that, we just in the locker room getting ready. We always had a thing where we played gospel music. Like we weren't really listening to rap music and all that. We played gospel music in our headphones. And I just sit there and look over the playbook one last time. I get in the hot tub, stretch, and then I'll say a prayer one more time right before I go out there, which is that's kind of my routine.
Yeah, that's like that final step.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you ever go to chapel? Do you have chapel before games?
They offer it, but I usually don't do it.
You keep to your own routine.
Yeah, I kind of like to be. That is the one day, the one time I like to be isolated, like before a game. I kind of like just to have my peace and my quiet, and then I like to just go through my routine, and I'll FaceTime my parents, I'll call my friends, and we'll all just talk. I'll play the game, and then that'll just get me into a certain mindset.
Yeah, that sounds like a great routine. And now, last question for you before we bring in your mom to hear from her as well is what does success look like to you now, both on and off the field? Like, how would you define success for you, and do you feel like you've achieved that?
Success for me is, I think I've accomplished everything that I've set out to accomplish as far as football. I made it to the NFL, which was always a dream. People said that I wouldn't make it past my first year. I'm going on year 7.
Wow.
So I feel I've been to the Pro Bowl. I've been an All-Pro. I've literally done everything that I said that I wanted to do on the football field. I think off the field is this right here. This is success to me. And obviously I still have a long way to go, not because we're just starting, but success to me is just seeing everybody around me happy and just seeing everybody around me winning and doing what it is that they love.
Yeah.
We have a smoothie shop or acai bowl shop in Maryland that my mother owns and runs, and my family works there as well. My brother went and became a gun instructor for the state of Maryland. So he's doing what he wants to do. I'm now doing mental health. I'm a mental health advocate.
Yeah.
I get to have conversations with people like you, and we get to just talk about mental health and try to help people one at a time, day by day. And so to me, I feel like that's what winning looks like.
That's amazing. And let me just say, from having worked with people from all walks of life and all different sports at all different levels, what you're describing is such a healthy mindset, right? Where you're saying, I acknowledge that I am successful and I've achieved so much. That doesn't mean I don't have continued goals for the future, but I'm happy with where I am now. And I think that's so important.
Yeah.
So let's bring in the woman of the hour who has contributed to your success, Lisa Harty. Thanks for joining us and flying. How long did you fly to get here?
My flight was 4.5 hours.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. And she's leaving right after this. We appreciate you being here. I just have one really heartfelt question for you that I'm looking forward to your answer. What's one thing you wish more people understood about the journey Deonte has taken, not just as a football player, but also as your son?
How resilient he is. How he has a heart of gold. When we went to his college games, I got a sweatshirt made that said, "My heart is bigger than my height," because he was always overlooked, but he was always the hardest working person on the field. That's amazing. Yeah. What's your favorite part about him as a son, not as a football player, just off the field? We won't make the other two brothers feel bad, but we would call him the house agitator. What people don't know is everybody thinks he's so calm and so quiet and laid back, but in his element, he is the troublemaker in the house. So if my house is quiet, it's because he's not there. He's not there. But yeah, like he said, we talk every day. We send videos back and forth all day. He's my goofball. So that's what it is.
That's
He's my goofball.
amazing. Yeah, and it just goes to show, right, that your home's comfortable,
Yes.
right? And that's a place he can be himself.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of times in the locker room too, it's like, oh, I have to be a certain way or I have to be perceived as a certain way. But at home, when you're with your people,
He
you
lets
can
it
just do
loose.
whatever you want. Thank you both so much for being here today. I really appreciate your time and making the trip.
Thank you.
Thank you.